All right, we are in part two of the University Files folder, and we're going to run through these really quick um, and show you just basically, it's basically to show you what is here for you. Um, this is a very important one, probably the first one that you should look at if you are coming from a regular 9 to 5 salary position. This is how to transition your brain to think like an entrepreneur, which is totally different because basically, as an entrepreneur, every single thing begins and ends with you. It's all on your shoulders. Ultimately, it doesn't matter who you've got doing what. When it comes back to the beginning of who is responsible, it is you that is responsible for literally everything. Um, so that is a great one to read. Here is some university links when you can't get to the ones that are with EXP. I just have these here as like a backup. These right here are your gratitude assessment, um, your habit assessments, and your core value assessment. And those go along with your personality profiles, the DISC profile, and the predictable success profile that we do to make sure that we're putting you on the right path and that you're doing the things that play to your strengths and not things that are outside of your natural abilities. These you will see are all outlines. And what we've done is we've taken everything that we've learned over the years and also the past 10 months. A lot of it is that. Um, and these are the systems that we use to get business. And these are the different categories. There's a two or three more that we're going to add to it. And this basically is it. You follow these simple outlines, and you will definitely find success. Basically, if you can't find success in this group, real estate ain't for you. um, this has everything that you need. So here, right here is expired, withdrawn, and for sale by owners. Moving over here, internet leads gives you two different types that you can do. The neighborhood mayor program, sphere and past clients. And then this right here is a good one. This is pitfalls to avoid. And I'll kind of click on this just so you can sort of see at a glance and especially this mainly for new agents. Um, the pitfalls to avoid is there because you are a magnet and you are a magnet for time wasters. So I'll click on it and just sort of show you. So you have your psycho surfers, you have your creepers, you have your time wasters, your looky loos. They just want to have you show them around town. Um, you have your first time investors. This is something that you definitely need to pay attention to. Every single person on the face of the earth has stayed up too late, watched some infomercial about buying and flipping and renting properties using somebody else's money, and they wake up and they're going to be an investor. And so when they call people, they don't say, I'm looking to like maybe be an investor because I watched an infomercial. They say, I'm a real estate investor. And 99% of the time is total BS. So you actually need to ask them, how many properties have you invested in? What have you done with them? Who has been handling those sales? And get to the root of what they're trying to do. You are not there to hold their hand through something they're never going to follow through with for the most part. Karen's is pretty self explanatory. You want to get them off your plate into somebody else. Um, they may absolutely love someone else, but if they're not for you, and all they do is add toxicity to your current business and take time away from the clients that deserve your time, you need to be able to recognize them and get them out quick. Thick-headed lowballers. This is especially in this sort of market that it's like if I don't uh, in principle, like homes shouldn't be going for this much right now and this much over the price. Good, don't buy a house. move on. Move on to the next one. Um, Friends and family experts. This is actually a really big one because as soon as you start real estate and people see that you're inexperienced, your friends and family all of a sudden become absolute experts. So they are going to be sending you postcards. They're going to be saying, look, I saw an advertisement of somebody with your company. I saw so and so did an advertisement for this, like you should do something like that. We got something in the mail, like here's an example, you should do that. They're going to all of a sudden be an expert on how to find business, how to work business, how to do everything in real estate. And they're just trying to help, but they waste your time just like everything else. We have the systems, and nobody's going to reinvent the wheel. And we stick to the programs that work and have worked for thousands of people. Um, So moving on over here, this is called Desperate Measures. This is something from somebody in the Honey Badger group that had just some really good stuff about when the market is hot, when you can't seem to get a property for your buyer. These are all the different things that you can do to go above and beyond and essentially do your job to find them a house and not use excuses of, well, we're one of 30 offers that come on, and so we're never going to find something. Like if that's your attitude with things, um, you're going to do all of your clients a disservice. And somebody has to get each house that comes on the market. And these are ways that you can get homes that aren't even on the market. Um, and that's it. This over here is something we've used for probably a good 10 years or so. And this is your fallback. Like when everything else fails and you're just like, I don't even know if I know how to sell houses anymore. And you'll go through those periods. Um, and you'll go through those periods even after 20 years. This is what you fall back on. And this is just a point system that has 3 tiers to it. And if you follow this system, it's just the basics of what the entire point to this career is, and that is building and maintaining relationships, and it begins and ends with that. The KPI assumption count, excuse me, KPI assumption calculator, that this is a great thing that I actually got from John Kitchens, um, and that they have used for years. And I modified it a little bit to sort of go along with our numbers. But you essentially can go in and only modify the yellow boxes, and you can start to figure out your own numbers as far as internet leads for sale by owners, whatever it is that you know I need to talk to, say, 100 people before I get a sale. And by doing these numbers, you'll know after a while by how many sales you have, where all of these categories land, and you can put your own numbers in, and then you know exactly what you need to do, and you never have to guess. This right here is a SMART goal sheet. And I sort of took all this, even though this is big and nice, I took all this and put it over in here. Um, but the SMART goal sheet is something that with every goal that you set, lots of people will set goals and go like, I want to do more listings this year. Well, that's not a goal. That might be something you want to do, but a SMART goal is something that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time constrained. So everything begins and ends with numbers. And if it doesn't have a number attached to it, you don't have a goal. And we'll go back to the drawing board and go, what's the goal? What is it you're trying to accomplish? Let's figure out what the actual goal is. Um, right here is a great little thing of like getting started, especially beginning of your career, is how to schedule a perfect day. Back over here, another scheduling thing. There are lots of things to schedule, and these are all here. They sort of piggyback on each other, and they also give you a lot of different options that maybe something will resonate with you better than others. And we use pretty much bits and pieces of each of them. And this goes back to the Keller Williams 411 system. Note again, it doesn't matter what company you're with. everyone uses the same things. They use what's the best thing that's out there. Um, and this just happens to be that. So I merged the SMART goals in with the Keller 411 system. And that is 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year. And that's how you set up all your goals. Personal action plan, this breaks down your goals so that you know exactly what you need to do numbers wise to hit those goals. This is a quick sheet that we kind of don't use anymore that we used when we were at Remax. It's a great sheet, actually. It's basically a vision board of sorts that we would write down a bunch of different things, and we can definitely start using it again. It's just we haven't in about a year or so. The straight line strategic plan. This is a more in depth look when you've been doing things for, say, a few years, a year at least, to really break down your entire business and see where is everything actually coming from. Right here, sample budget just gives you an idea of the things that you're going to run into expense wise. Some of them won't be actual expenses that you have because they're covered under the team or covered at EXP or whatever it is. But this gives you a pretty good idea of beginning to end. These are the things that you need to run your business. And then the last thing right here is the book list. This is all the books that we have read and recommend. There's been a ton of books that we have read that we were like, didn't really do much for us that other people have liked. Maybe one or two of those are on here, but most of these books we actually took a lot out of, and a lot of other people did as well. And so that, my friends, is pretty much all we have for this one. So that was part 2 of the university files folder.